Alright, take two. Hey everybody, it's Taz again. I'm going to show you how to take the model that you imported into the game objects and basically attach it to a spell so that that spell can either be used as a talent, like an on-call spell ability, or um, basically be used on an item. Attach the spell to an item and do things that way. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing, shout out to Dinkeldork for showing me this. He created some videos and had a lot of good, useful information in it for doing things like this and using it. He also showed me WDBX editor and MPQ editor. I don't remember where I got WoW.export from, but the link's going to be in the description on where to download it. I just don't remember what the source was for who specifically it was that pointed that particular tool out. So what you're going to see down here is all the recent spells I've created. So starting from Chain Lightning down, Chain Lightning was my actual first spell. That is a direct copy. It's the rank 1 fucking shaman ability, and I basically modified it to work for a warrior. Arcane Missiles, same thing. Mirror Image, same thing. I gave Pally's Heroic Strike because I'm a monster, and I gave him Hamstring too. I basically also gave warriors the ability to use Intercept in the battle stance, and of course Blink. So this is a modified Blink. What I did was I took Rocket Blast, and I took that one specifically. I tried Flame Strike and other spells that are, give you like the little AoE target circle, and could not get any of them to fucking work. So this was the only one that I was able to use and get to work. So if you're looking at using a spell that requires a target animation, Rocket Blast 1940 does work. I've verified that. So anyway, back to the task at hand. We're going down here. You can see I've got pitch tent, make campfire, place anvil, all this stuff, and they say item next to them, and that's because they're designed specifically to be attached to an item. These ones have different cooldowns, and they do different things. So these are just spells, and I have not attached them to any trainers or anything, so you have to basically learn them through GM command. These have cooldowns specifically so that you don't end up with 1,000 Palisade spikes in Goldshire. Alright, so next thing. Let's go ahead. We'll open up one of these. Again, Rocket Blast was the base spell for this. I changed the spell name, description. The base, I believe, I kept the exact same, except for maybe spell level and things of that nature. Recovery time, all that shit. That is editable in here. Some of this stuff works, some of it doesn't, but the base concept of it does pretty much work. You have visual. I don't know why, but I was not able to get the visual to work for this. And really, oh, that's why, because it didn't get one. Doesn't really matter. What's the spell? Pitch tent? No. Anyways, it's supposed to have like the blacksmith hammer motion, and it plays that little sound and all that stuff. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. It's honestly, for me, I don't really give a shit if it works. Alright, the effects. So, effect 1, you want to say target AoE destination location. Effect 2, you want 50 trans door. Don't know what the hell that actually does or why that works, but that does in fact work. I left these. These are normally for damage. The spell obviously does not do damage, so not a big deal there. And I think I did change that actually in the base. base level. Somewhere in here is like a damage value. Category 24. I don't know what that means either. Anyway, alright, so effects. Back to effects. This is the important part. So transdoor, basically, and then miscellaneous value 185 or 184592. That is the identifier in your SQL database for a tent. I'll show you that here. Dude, it is way too early in the morning. I can't type. Alright, there we go. Sorry. I'm trying to make these somewhat fast anyway. Alright. Acore World. Go here. Go to Game Object Template. There we go. Game Object Template. Entry 184592. Boom. Tent. Alright. That's a base one that worked. I did not have to import this model. But it does work for the models that you do import. Okay? Just so you know. Next. Close out of that because that's no longer useful. So you want your miss value A to be that. That's basically what is being summoned, and it will call down that model with its physics and all the other shit that come with it from that. You want target unit destination area enemy. That's number 16. Target unit none and spell aura none with a radius of 3. That's your circle radius. In terms of your pointer, okay? So for that last spell, right, we went and made a new gate. So this has pretty much the same values, I'm pretty damn sure. Yeah, it does, except for the miscellaneous value, because it's calling the Netherguard Keep that doesn't spawn for some reason. So we're going to right click that, we're going to duplicate it. We're going to say confirm duplication. Alright, we're going to go down to this one, we're going to change the spell name. Dude, whatever. Human Castle Gate. Alright, we're not going to give this a spell rank. Okay, places a human gate in the area. That's fine. Base is fine. Effects. We want to change that. 6,000,010. That's what we made it last time, right? It worked. That's the value we want. Alright, now we're going to say save spell changes, and you want to do this anytime that you change a value in any of these little tabs. I've tried them. I have tried to go and do things like edit multiple values across these fucking tabs, and it just fucks up almost every time. So just, if you've done something you want to stay permanent, make sure you hit the save button when you're done changing it. Quick caveat, you might want to create something that requires materials to make, right? So you can say reagent, and maybe I want 100 iron bars to be able to use this ability or spell, right? So say there, 100 iron bars, and then whatever the fuck the item ID is for iron bar. I'm not going to actually put that in there because I don't really want to do that right now. This isn't really going to be a player ability. This is just something that I'm doing to show as an expo. All right, so we have Human Castle Gate. We have the effects done, and basically that's all set. So next thing we want to do is we want to export. So we are going to export this. Now, you can export this as an MPQ. Keep in mind, when you export it as MPQ, you have to get rid of this last portion here. This .mpq is utterly useless. It will do nothing but fuck you up. The file extension MPQ is going to be added at the end of whatever is in this field here. So you would have patch 4 mpq.mpq, and it won't work that way because you've got two file extensions and it doesn't know what to do with them. So just keep that in mind. You also want to make sure that you name this the latest alphabetically ordered patch on your patch list. I am not going to do this because all I'm doing is importing the spell values. I've changed nothing else. You can see that I've used some things in here like game objects info, item. These are imported DBC files from previous assignments, and we don't really need those today for this because we're just doing spells. So that's why these are being left unchecked, so that I don't overwrite what is in there. And when you import something, keep in mind it is not importing it from your active DBC directory. Well, it is, but it is basically taking a snapshot in time of that directory. So if anything in here gets edited and you select, you tell this to export, and you overwrite the files in here, say I had game object display info, it would undo all the work that I just did. So you want to be careful with that. The best way to go about that, if you're trying to do it through just the MPQ, is to save all your stuff. And once everything in your DBC file and your data file has been edited to your heart's content, and that's the way that you want it, you want to say drop tables. This will shit can everything. And then you want to go in and you want to export all the DBC files, or import all the DBC files that you edited, and then it will save a snapshot of that image. And that is the image it will use until you drop the tables and import them again. So just beware, because you could end up undoing some hard work down the road if you're not careful. See, you don't. I'm not going to do this right now because I don't need to. So again, we're going to go back to export. Like I said, we're just doing the cookie cutter shit that comes with Spell Editor, and we're going to say export checked to DBC files. All right, and you can see down here it's got the little bars. It'll basically tell you when it's ready. Cool. And the default place that this exports shit to is in the same folder that you download or installed Spell Editor. So there's a folder in there called Export, and here's where all your stuff lives after you have exported it. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go here. I'm going to put it in my data folder. I'm going to copy it again. I'm going to go over to my DBC, and I'm going to replace all the files in the destination. That just replaced all the files in my DBC folder. Cool, right? Now the funny thing is like I just said, if I was to go edit something and not drop the tables and then export it and then overwrite these files, none of the stuff we just did would be in there. I don't believe it would anyway. Just, yeah, follow the process. All right, now we want to import this into our patch so that the client side recognizes what's going on. And that's the reason that I put this shit in the data folder for that. Normally, the way I've got things set up, I don't have to do a lot of directory traversal to get what I want. But today I am, because we're showing everything off. Alright, we're going to select all the files we just exported, and we're going to say open. And then it's going to overwrite the stuff that I've done previously. And then our MPQ file is uploaded, right? So we're good there. Again, we're going to close all windows. I know that was not the right way to do that. Got it. We're going to go back here. We're going to kill the cache so that we don't have any problems. Fire up the authorization server. Fire up the world server. And alright, so this is spell number 80888. That's pretty easy to remember. And we're gonna learn that spell. Gonna learn today. Alright, there we go. Alright. We learned the spell. So it sees it, it saw it in the DBC. We're good. Now we're gonna go into our spellbook and abilities. I'm gonna throw this in here. Oh, also in spell editor you can change these icons. I just didn't do it. I'm sorry. So let's see. Alright, we got the little box. This is a big file, so this is a gigantic WMO, and I suspect that is why we are not getting a proper preview. Just so you know. Smaller stuff like tents, I think M2 files typically will give you a good preview. This just isn't gonna do that for us. And lo and behold, it worked. Now this is temporary. Once you restart the server, it'll go away. So that's all I got for that. Well, actually no. Let's go ahead. Let's just show the whole damn thing. Let's not half-ass this. Okay. Next, we're going to show you how to add this to an item. So for that, you're going to want Trinity Editor. Okay. That's cool. Don't really need this anymore. Alright, Trinity Editor is a bit of a dated program, but it still checks out and still does what it's pretty much supposed to do. Now, how the fuck did I do this? Okay, so you create an oh god. let's just pick an existing item. I don't want to go through the rigmarole right now of doing a fucking whole new item. I will show you that later. It's not that difficult, but it is. It takes more brain cells than I have access to right now. Item. Shit, I don't know. Stick. Cool. We're gonna attach this to the stick for now. So the entry ID is 37708. This is your display ID. That's the actual model that it's gonna use. So this would be a stick, and this is basically what it's calling on in your server. We're gonna open up the server again. We're gonna go over here to Acore World items. No, maybe it's not. Item template. Yeah, I think that's it. Item template. Alright, and we're going to go for the entry that was in Trinity Creator. What was the stick? 37708. Boom. Alright. There it is. Stick. Got that. Got positive ID. And you scroll on over here. The only downside to this thing is that you can't really use Control F. It has a fucking spell. No fucking shit. Hold on. Oh, that's unfortunate. What else we got? I don't want to break my base game files. I don't want to memorize what that was and have to go back and fix it. So Karen on a stick for sure probably has a spell attached to it. Dude, how about just a rock? Huh? Yeah, sure. 45201. There. This does not have a spell ID. So 80888, that was our spell ID. Save that fucker. And over here you can put the cooldown on it, right? So this is in milliseconds. My head hurts, so I don't give a shit about. I think it's 1500 as a second, right? So what's 1500 times 60? I don't know. 90,000. 1 minute. Alright, we're going to give that a 1 minute cooldown, and that is attached directly to the item. You're playing with fire here. I think it's best just to go ahead and create a separate spell if it's going to be intended for use with an item. Give it its own cooldown at the spell level, not at the item level. It just seems to work better. This works sometimes though, but like I've seen it glitch out where if you log out and log back in and the server's been running in the background, it still like resets the cooldown on it. It just doesn't function as intended. So the surefire way to unfuck that is to just change it at the spell. Anyway, cool. So that is in there now, and what we should have is a functioning rock. One last time, let me look at that ID. 45201, okay. Alright, let's fire up the server. I'm sorry that this took so long. It's late, and I've got limited time. Got a son and a wife and a job, and I'm just trying to spread the wealth here on how to do things. Okay, Keldorn. That's the GM command for add item 45201. Hey, I got a rock. Cool. And it's showing that spell there. Use places a human gate in the area. And oh look, it worked. So there you go, folks. That's how you add a spell to an item, and that's how you add a model ID that you've imported to a spell. And I hope that this helps someone. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry for the long-windedness and the curse words. I hope you guys have a good evening. I am gonna call it a night, and we'll hit this back up tomorrow. So thanks everybody.